everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Historical Belle. It's me, Marie. Thank you for coming to my sewing room today. Today we have some stress sewing that we need to do. Am I stressed? Yes, because I haven't sewn this garment yet. I am supposed to have this medieval tunic done by Thursday, like Thursday morning, and it is currently Monday night. I need this for a work event because I work as a museum educator and we are having a homeschool day about daily life in the Middle Ages, which I'm super excited about, and we have had so much good response from our homeschool community, but I really need to get this done, like, now. So we're not going to do much more of an intro, and because I need to get sewing. Come on, Lucky, let's do it. You think I can do it, Lucky?
Here you see some manuscript images that I used as reference in making this kirtle. Most of these images come from the High Middle Ages. I decided that I wanted to make this kirtle out of a blue wool, so I went to the fabric store to see what they had.
It kind of matches my sweatshirt, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
I like this color.
I also got distracted by the pretty shiny fabric, like, oh my gosh, look how pretty this is, and I want to make something out of it, but I'm not sure what. But anyway, back to the wool. So this is the wool that I found. I really liked the color, and really what dictated this for me was the price. It was still kind of pricey for me, but I wanted to make sure I had a nice wool to be my first medieval garment. So this is what I got. I'm not sure if it's completely perfect. I'm still kind of new to the Middle Ages, but at least I like it, and that's what matters most.
So this one's 45, and this one's 60. So we're going to have to reposition a little bit.
The fabric that I used to make the smock and all the other fabrics that I've used to make all my other medieval tunics so far have been 45 inches wide, but this wool is 60 inches wide. So I had to move my t-shirt pattern over a little bit, and I will be having a large narrow strip to make it 45 inches wide. I want my tunic to be longer than my smock. Therefore, I have calculated how much longer I need my kirtle to be than my smock is. So I have taken that measurement and then added that length to the bottom of my kirtle. So with my pattern drafting done, I cut out the fabric, which is basically just two really nice big rectangles with a little head hole cut out, which of course I use my t-shirt as a guide for. I'm now going to sew the side seams and the shoulder seams.
Alright, so I just sewed the shoulder seams together and then also a little bit of the side seam. It was 9 inches across here. Or, no, this is not 9 inches. So it's 7 inches across here, and then I had 9 inches for the arm plus 2 for the gusset. So that was a total of 11 inches open for the armhole, and then I sewed up 9 inches here. So we're going to see how that equation worked. Also, this wool is so nice. I almost were like, oh no, this is like too nice for the medieval times. But maybe I was just like, it's a rich person's outfit for medieval times, or they're just really good at spinning their own wool. I absolutely love this kind of tan unbleached linen and there's a blue wool combo. I think it looks really good. Like, maybe I'll just wear this. This is just what I'm wearing. The end. I mean, technically I guess I could, but I want to keep going because I think that this blue is going to look beautiful, especially with the other things that I have planned for it, which are Gores, and more Gores. Oh, and sleeves. I have sleeves planned for this as well. Okay, but very happy with this. This is at my hips, not at my waist. That's a problem. So I'm going to have to seam rip this.
I went ahead and seamed rip while the fabric was on my body. That way I knew I was going to make it to my natural waistline. I'm going to need Gores, of course, in the sides, but then also the front and back of this outfit.
Here's my belly button. We're not quite there
The point of the gore is to end at the natural waistline. Now that is at my waist. I'm not going to do this one on me because I don't need to. I can just make it match this one. But also good because now I can use this one to make sure I cut the back and front gores at the appropriate length too. Okay, I'm really excited about this. I'm going to do a little kingdom dance. With my dance done, it was time to measure how long my gores were going to be. I measured from my waist to the hem of the kirtle, and I decided to have nice big full gores that are going to give me such a wonderful full skirt, perfect for twirling. So I used the full width of my fabric folded over, and then I used those dimensions to draft a triangle. The great thing about this is that having drafted a triangle in the middle, I will now have 2 triangles of the same measurements on either side. Yo-Yo has joined us down in the sewing room. She and Lucky are trying to get along and are getting along a little bit better, but it's still not fantastic. We're having a little stare off here. Lucky, of course, is a wonderful supervisor and must protect the fabric and me from Yo-Yo. So here she is. I don't think she realized that her behind was just like right in front of the camera as I was cutting these out, but I was not about to move her. She had a job to do. She realized this. So with the way that I drafted the gores for this, that means that the triangle that ended up on the selvage edge was going to have to be pinned and have a seam in the middle. The one that was on the folded edge is not going to have a seam in the middle, but I just made a fake one so that it would match because I like symmetry. But here I am pinning the center of that gore to make a giant triangle. So a giant gore. And then I'm going to sew those together, and Yo-Yo is very intrigued by the sewing machine and definitely had to give a lot of supervision to the construction of the gores. She's very good at it. So I'm so happy I was wearing shoes because look at what just happened. I have this needle that's like just gone into my shoe. I just accidentally like stepped over my basket and I didn't realize that there were like a whole booby trap waiting for me. So whew, shoes for the win. Right, Lucky? So here comes one of the most nerve-wracking moments of the making of this kirtle, and that is cutting a slit in the front and back of the kirtle to add the front and back gores. Of course, to add the side gores, you just leave the side seams open, but for the front and back gores, you have to cut a slit. Here I am pinning the front and back together, laying it flat, getting all of those wrinkles out, because I'm going to cut the front and back slits at the same time so that they are exactly the same place front and back. Whether that be for better or worse, we'll find out. Of course, you don't have to do it that way, but I would recommend it because that way they are the same. Of course, I am going to pin everything down. I don't want anything slipping or sliding because you really only have one chance to cut this. You want it to be accurate. Once all of the slits are open, then it is time to pin in the gores. So I have 4 gores to pin in total, and that's not incredibly hard, but it is incredibly time consuming. And that brings us to the end of the first evening of the Medieval Kirtle project. Whew, okay. It is Tuesday night. The dress has to be done by Thursday morning. But we made a whole lot of really great progress last night,
and I'm feeling pretty confident that we're going to get essentially all of it done today, except perhaps some of the hand finishing that I have to do. But I'm feeling pretty good about that. I also really want to make a veil, and I also want to make an apron for this outfit. Now that is where it's going to get a little dicey if I have enough time to do that. But I'm feeling pretty good about the dress. Lucky is too. And yeah, so let's go get the rest of those gores in. I started pinning in one of the gores last night, and then I was like, ugh, it got too late. But yeah, gores.
So here I am, finished pinning in the gores. As I said, there's a lot of pinning to happen, so here we are. Here's a wonderful time to tell you about how there are so many other wonderful videos on YouTube about how to make a medieval kirtle, and I used a lot of them while making this outfit because, as you can see, I don't have a pattern, and I'm really new to medieval stuff, so I also was just using YouTube videos to figure out how to make this, and I am going to link all of the videos that I used and were helpful to me while making this down in the description box below, so be sure to check out those. They are all fabulous videos with lots of great information. I hope you also find this video helpful too. I decided to use a t-shirt to help be my guide, and that's a little bit of my own thing. And I hope that helps you. With all of those gores now pinned in, it is time to go ahead and sew them in. I'm going to use my sewing machine to do that. I am using my sewing machine for all of the inside seams that you will not see on the outside, so you'll never know if they're actually hand sewn or not. And as I have been saying through this entire project, I only have like 3 days to do all of this. There is no way that I'm going to have the time to hand sew all of this. Therefore, I want to just let everyone know it's okay for you to use your sewing machine. You don't even have to do hand finishes if you don't want to. This is about having fun and doing a good job. Now, of course, if you are like me and, using it at historical sites and stuff, you have to have a certain level of accuracy, of course, but not everyone has to.
I just sewed in all the gores. It's such a full skirt. I'm so excited to try this on. Lucky, I'm so excited. Yeah. It's so full. Oh my goodness. I feel like the gores did hit exactly where my waist is. They feel like a little high, but I guess I'm just not used to thinking about my waist. Because if I think, put it here, you can see this is exactly where my waist is. Alright. But yeah, this is really full. I left it the full 60-inch wide fabric. Oh yes. Glorious. Voluminous. Okay. Now I need sleeves. So, have to go cut those out and sew those in. Oh, and the gussets. Gotta have the gussets. Alright, so I ate dinner. I took a shower. The cats are both trying to be in the sewing room with me, but don't want to be in the sewing room with each other. Anyway, so I ate dinner, I took a shower, I got my jammies on, now it's time to sew some sleeves. So for the sleeves, I measured on the t-shirt the length, and also, so the length of my arm is about 20, because remember we have to have a hem and seam allowance. I like things that are not exactly on my shoulder. If it's like right here, that's just like, ugh. So tight, but anyway. So we're gonna do 20, it's also just a nice round number. So 28 inches in length, and then we're going to do 9 in circumference.
So I said 9 in circumference there, but it really would be half of the circle is 9, so their whole circumference would be 18. But when you're cutting it out on fabric, it would just be 9 by 20. And then you have a 2-piece sleeve. So your sleeve is going to have a seam on the top and also a seam on the bottom because you have 2 pieces that make the whole sleeve. Now, let me tell you about the wonders of quilting rulers. I've been using one as I've been drafting this entire pattern. They're wonderful. I love quilting rulers. I actually just got a few more that were gifted to me by a friend, and I'm so excited to have more of them because they are so wonderful and also fantastic for drafting out patterns. Like, you really need those if you're going to try to do like what I'm doing here and draft a pattern. Here I am drafting the gusset. It is a 4x4 inch square. And then I'm going to go ahead and sew the sleeve. Then I will be inserting the gusset momentarily. Sometimes I use a marker to mark out my pattern, and then sometimes I use pins. It just depends on how I'm feeling. Here I am inserting the gusset. You want to think about the gusset as a diamond, not as a square. That is how you insert it. Now for my sleeve, I go ahead and I'm inserting the gusset into the sleeve, and then with the gusset as part of the sleeve, I'll go ahead and insert the sleeve into the rest of the kirtle, which I am doing here. That way it just kind of acts as an extension of the sleeve, so you don't have to like worry about inserting it correctly once you get it into the sleeve correctly. So as I was sewing the sleeve in place, the lights blipped. That's not editing. The lights just went off and then they came back on. And then I went and I looked around the house for a second and, well, everything seemed okay, so I just kept on sewing. Keep on sewing, keep on sewing, keep on sewing, sewing, sewing. What do? We sew, sew. And then finally the sleeves are in and I can try on the full dress.
It's so long. I love the color. I think it looks great on me. Alright, now I just need to do a little bit of fitting to my sleeves. We don't want it to look too rope-like. I could even bring it in a little bit here, but don't tell anyone. But I didn't wash this fabric before I made something out of it. So I just made it really big. And then, you know, if it shrinks a little bit in the wash, and by a little bit I mean like, look, like I got room. Then I don't have to take it in. And I made it easier. And then if it doesn't, then I can look into making it come in a little bit more. But yeah, I'm gonna measure my wrist, see how long that needs to be, draw a line from here to here, my little gore, figure out where that needs to go, and then I just have to do
some hand finishing of all this. Am I going to get it all done by Thursday? Probably not. Wish I was that fast. But I could definitely get the sleeves, the neck, and the hem done. It's a big hem though. So for taking in my sleeve, I used my smock as a guide, and I didn't go into all of the detail about how to use the t-shirt as your pattern as much in this video because I've gone into it with more detail on my past 2 videos about making a medieval men's tunic, which is basically how to make this tunic but just shorter, and then also my medieval smock video. So please be sure to check those out as they also have a lot of great information and they're almost all the same basic shapes. Here I am trying to do some hand finishing. I did not get everything hand finished in time for my work event, but I did get the neckline finished, the hem finished, and the sleeves finished. And then here is what it looks like all together. I was really happy with how the whole look came together with the dress and the belt and the veil and my hair. And I'll have a few more videos about that coming out soon. And also a vlog about our first ever SCA event. What's the SCA, you might ask? Well, stay tuned to find out. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to become part of the Historical Belle Society.